there, it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. I have two awesome techniques to share with you in this card. The first one is kind of a Joseph's coat technique, and the second one we are going to create the peekaboo or see-through window in the front of our card. Now first of all, I am going to make this pretty much a one layer card. So I am using some low tack tape. This is the mint tape and I have tried many tapes and this is the best one I came across by far. So I have invested in this one and I absolutely love it. It definitely takes away a lot of the stress when it comes to using low tack tape. So I am popping it around the outsides of my card because I want to keep a nice white border without having to add in another layer of cardstock to create a border, I guess. So you could definitely go with either option by just doing the one layer card or adding in an extra little frame at the end. I'm using some Sike, Guppy and Traffic Cone Simon Hurley ink pads today. Now these are just a dye ink pad and they are fabulous for blending together. I'm using the scrapbook.com domed blenders, which are definitely my favorite for blending. However, underneath this technique, the first layer of the Joseph's coat technique does not have to be smooth blending. You can honestly just pile on the ink here and you'll see that I am not kind of going for a really smooth blend. I do want there to be enough color so that it shows through, but I don't need there to be a perfect blend in between the two colors. Now often I've seen this technique done and people add black over top, which I absolutely love, and I will do a video doing that because I do love the look of it. However, I wanted to try something just a little bit different today and not add black into this card for the front. So I'm just using these three colors. It's kind of a yellowy, orange and a red, but as I said, any colors could work and you could definitely turn this into any kind of occasion. Today it is going to be a birthday card because I need one, but you could do it for any occasion at all. Then because I'm going to be embossing, I need to make sure this is really dry. So I'm taking two steps. One, I'm heat drying it with a heat tool, and then I'm going to use my anti-static powder pouch to make sure that I really am not going to get any powder sticking where I don't want it to be. I'm using some VersaMark sticky embossing ink, and then I'm using this Kaisercraft one, and the Paper Smooches one is the Botanicals 3, I think. I don't think this is available anymore, but this is one of my most loved. I think I have the Botanicals 2 and 3, and these are my most used stamp sets. I love them. So use anything that you have in your stash at all. Anything would work well around this little border. And I know that you cannot see this very well, but if I kind of move my head, I can see where the shine is left from the sticky embossing ink. So in person, it's much easier to do. And all you do is we want to trap the ink underneath. So this is the first layer and we are trapping this ink underneath some embossing. So to achieve that, I'm using the sticky embossing ink and then I'm going to add some clear embossing powder over top. Now I don't want to use a white or a color because obviously I want to keep the color underneath here. So that's what I want to shine through instead of covering it up in this case. So you could also do that, but that's a whole nother technique. So for the minute I'm using clear embossing powder. I have tipped it on and then I'm going to heat set all of it and it will kind of just appear nice and shiny. Now honestly, you can see that I had a little bit of a dirt on some of my stamps there, but that doesn't end up affecting this project in the end. I was a little bit worried about that, but I was going with it and I would make it work either way. You can see that beautiful shine there left from the embossing, and now I'm going to add some Prom Queen, which is a really dark, saturated, bright pink ink. And with this layer, we are just going to put on quite a lot of ink. So it is really easy to blend. There's really no blending at all. You just want to make sure you get quite a lot of ink over top of all of that embossing powder. So once you have done that, give it a little bit of a wipe with a dry cloth because you'll see here that there's quite a lot of ink that sits on top of that resist that we created with the clear embossing powder. Then this is one of my favorite parts, the reveal for the border, and I love that I left that border. It definitely makes it for me instead of just having the whole card front one color. It just creates a really nice strong contrast. So I did have a few ideas where I wanted to go in my head from this, but for this one in particular, I'm going to use the little peekaboo technique where you use a die and it's shadow die. Now for this one, I'm going to be using words. Now I have the happy birthday on the left and then wishes, hooray and peace on the right. Now I put these together on a different card that said birthday wishes, so it was nice to be able to mix and match the die sets. But for this card, I am going to reuse some of that low-tack tape and pop down the word wishes on the front, including the shadow. So this is the word and its shadow, and you can see that it popped right out. Make sure that you open up your card when you run it through your die cutting machine, because we don't want it to die cut through both layers of our card, just the front cover. Then I need to finish off the sentiment. So on the front, I am going to heat emboss the word birthday, so it reads birthday wishes. Now at this point, because I've put so much effort into my card, I'm going to use my little mini Misty, and then making sure, because I'm using some VersaMark sticky embossing ink, I used my anti-static powder bag first of all, and then I'm going to stamp down and just gently press on the stamp. I don't want to smush it too much. And that's the benefit of using a stamping tool. I can just check it in the light and make sure that there is ink everywhere I need it to be. I'm putting on some bright white embossing powder because I want it to kind of match in with the border going around the outside. I don't want to introduce any new colors at this point, and then I will heat set it. Now I want the inside to read, I don't want it to just say wishes as well, so I'm going to take the stamp, and it's in exactly the same place. Using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, I will stamp it directly into the middle too. Then all we need to do is add on our sentiment back into where we cut it from. Now at the moment it still has the shadow because I want to keep really nice perfect placement. This is just how it came out of the die, so I'm adding some liquid glue, some Ranger Multi-Medium in the matte finish, just to the words, and then when I open up the card I've got perfect placement, and I will just pull off that little background outer die cut there, which usually we would use, or you could do it in vellum or something to back the sentiment, but in this case it just creates the perfect little peekaboo hole. You can also do this with any coordinating dies you have. You can stamp pictures through the middle, you can stamp characters, you can stamp letters or sentiments, anything through the middle to create this cute little peekaboo window. Then I'm adding some white gloss drops to finish it all off, and that is my card for today. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, bye!